We're back with another rider, another episode. Today we have Yemi in the car. He's a guy from London. He's a millennial, so he hadn't charged his phone. He needs to charge his phone in the car. I don't know why they get in the car with a dead phone. Yeah. But anyway, all jokes aside, he's a restaurant manager and he studied engineering. So we're just going to talk about his career and see what we can learn from him. Nice to have you here today, Yemi.
Nice to be here.
So tell us, why restaurant managing?
Went to study civil engineering. Did that. I had a year in the industry before I left, and it wasn't what I thought it was. I'm more of an outgoing, engaging person. I like interacting with people. I like talking to people.
Yeah.
I like interacting with people. I like talking to people. I like being more active. I like moving about. For what I was doing, I was in front of a screen, literally 8 hours a day, crunching numbers, just kind of because I did project management. So it was a lot of just being in front of the screen, getting that done. I had a few meetings, but even then it was very soul crushing.
So you did civil engineering?
Yeah.
And then instead of going into infrastructure,
yeah,
you just did project management side. Okay.
So just do running the projects, running the sites and all that.
Okay, what company?
So I started off, there was a company called IF Construction. I did that. They did basically renovations, extensions, site conversions.
Based here?
Yeah, London. Yeah, Southeast London.
Okay.
Mainly. So they had sites in Lewisham, Tooting, Richmond. They had various sites around. So I was just basically running project management. I was doing the project management for all the sites.
Okay.
Obviously working under someone, gaining the experience.
Yeah.
But from even my boss, when I was seeing him all the time, just on the computer, in front of the screen.
Yeah, that's what project. I used to be a site manager in commercial construction, and that's what I did my degree in, and that's why I left the industry, because as you go up to get more money, you get taken away from the site, and you're just doing paperwork.
And it was not me at all. I wasn't happy. Going home, I was sitting in front of the screen, my eyes started, I couldn't watch TV when I got home. I just went straight to bed. It was very soul crushing. Just
to give you insight, there's a rule under the 1974 Health and Safety Act that nobody should sit up looking at any screen for more than 45 minutes without taking a 15-minute break away from the screen. No one abides by it. People don't understand
I don't think anyone knows about this.
But that's the rule, and they recognise that, brought in that because of eye issues. That's why I just interviewed someone regarding eyes, and she was talking about how the 71% of the population now wears glasses. Yeah. Or has eye issues because they're always looking at screen.
One with your phone, your laptop, TV when you go home. Literally, most of the time we're surrounded by screens. So you might be not noticing, but the blue lights would, as time go on. So that happened, and I got very depressed to the point that it affected my health, and I just quit on the spot. I quit, and obviously I needed money. So I found the first job I could apply for, which was working in a restaurant as a server, and that was it. I started working there. I started realizing I'm very not good, but I enjoy the interaction with people.
You're sociable.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah. So I enjoyed that. I enjoyed talking to people. I also found something about myself, which I didn't even know. I'm very good at sales. So I was very good at selling points. So when people come in, especially as a front of house person, they'll come in and then they'll like to make a booking for the restaurants. I was finding myself talking to them and kind of giving them little points as to why they can do this. And then eventually they'll go to the manager, but the manager will come back to me. I didn't have to do anything. You've already done my job for me. They said they want to sign up. So I'm like, oh, there you go. I was just being nice to them. I didn't even realize. So it was all these little things, finding out about myself. I was like, oh, this is actually something I'm actually quite good at. This is something and I found myself to be quite passionate with it as well. When it comes to, so I started working with coffee. I found myself very passionate with coffee. I did some competitions. I did UK competitions.
What kind of competitions?
So it's a barista competition. So from bean to cup, you kind of go through the whole process as to how to be a bespoke barista. You talk about the beans, you have a knowledge about the coffee beans. It's general just those kind of little things. I enjoyed it a lot, and then from there I kind of found a company to work in, which is the company I'm still in now. I worked to become a supervisor. From a supervisor, I was an events manager. From an events manager, bar manager, and then restaurant manager. And now I'm trying to become GM.
Oh, general manager. Okay. So your company you work for now isn't just a coffee specialist.
No. They're called Baxter Story. They are contract catering. So they have different sites in a lot of offices, essentially, like BBC, Wigmore Hall, ITV. They have Amazon. They have a lot of sites that are run there.
Mm-hmm.
And what they try, especially for some sites, for instance, a law firm now, when they have clients come over, they would like to obviously impress them with good coffee, good service, and good food as well, saying that we serve this. And then they will hire this company, Baxter Story, to run the food side of things for them. And then the company will come, they'll give the trainings to the staff in regards to coffee, food, and all of this to kind of give that high service. And so, but for me, because I came from more of that one is more contract catering, so it's more for the offices, but I came from more of a, what's the word?
Specialist?
No, specialist, yes, but I'm more of high streets. There we go. So I started on the high street side. I'm now running the restaurant side of things. So they've opened a couple of restaurants that I'm kind of now assisting to run up, and using that to kind of boost myself up in the company as well, to kind of go up. So that's a little bit of a backlog.
No, that's interesting. What strikes me is that you didn't think, or I don't know if you did, I shouldn't make a sweeping statement, that why didn't you, or did you, I should say, consider to just change companies and go to a construction, civil engineering company where you can do more of what you dreamed of?
That thought did come across my head, but because, like I said, when I went through that period, I got very depressed. My main thought was just self-preservation, and was just stopping what I was doing at the time. And obviously still having bills and such, I found myself working in restaurants. But it became a thing where I'd already set myself in there. It was hard to me to and then we go on the computer, start applying for jobs. I'd never found myself having that kind of time, especially in the first period. My first time it was a night job, so I would start working from 3, finish at midnight sometimes. By the time I get home, I'm tired. I'm like, I can't. I was given a lot of excuses. Let me put it that way. It was a lot of self-excuses I was given why I couldn't do it.
What did you think civil engineering would be? Because you started off saying...
Yeah, so I thought, obviously when I did it, there was quantity surveying, there was project management. I've always liked the idea of being a project manager. I'm very bad at taking orders, but I'm very good at giving them. But so from an early age, my dad has always said that's a very bad trait.
You know what? Wait, who do you get that from? Your mum or your dad?
100%.
Okay, true Nigerian mum.
100% my mum and dad.
Okay.
So it was a thing where, so for me, I was like, for me to be in that industry, it would be a lot of me taking orders and working for people, and like I said, it was beating me. It was just slowly beating me away. But when I was in the hospitality industry now, I saw more of a chance for me to work up, more of a chance. There was a bit more freedom given to me, especially when I brought the creative side, like I said, with the coffee side of things, and they started giving me more freedom to kind of just run around and play with ideas. So like you said, you said you saw someone being more creative. I did give my creative side there. So there were things like when we're setting up the restaurant, I was helping them. Okay, this is how the flow should be. This is where customers should be. This kind of paintings should be, because the customers would like that kind of insight as well.
So you're getting to be creative in the restaurant
while also still using the building industry I had, because again, it's little things where painting I had. So when we built up a restaurant in Farringdon, I was giving them advice. Okay, we can do this for structure. So I was bringing other ideas from my past life, and I didn't even know I was ever going to use it. To the point that I'm now I've kind of set up a career for myself now. So I can stop, but then it's be starting fresh. And I'm a bit too old for me to be starting fresh at the moment. So
Funny guy. Okay.
I'm older than I look, eh?
I hear. Doesn't he look like a creative people? Put your comments in a bit down below. He does to me. So you grew up in Nigeria.
Yeah.
Your mum's Nigerian, your dad is?
That is Scottish Irish.
Okay, so how did they meet, you know?
So I was very curious about the story myself. So he's the one that's been an engineer. He's done civil engineering his whole life.
Okay.
So he had a company that he was working for in Nigeria.
Yeah.
They took him there. It was a brewery company. I can't remember. Backstein, he's told me something. It was a brewery company anyways. He was the project manager there. He went there, and my mom was the secretary for another firm, but they had a meeting and they met each other there. A year later, I came up, so it clearly went well. So yeah.
That's good.
A year into the meeting, I came out.
What was it like growing up in Nigeria in the school? You were in boarding school? Or?
No, I went to private school, but private school, but I guess private school in Nigeria is not exactly it's not private school here. But it gave me a lot of character. Character I am very grateful for, don't put it that way. So I remember when I first came to the country, and little things like respect and gratitude and just appreciating the little things in life. I learned that in Nigeria. When I came here and I saw how students used to talk to teachers, for instance, that was a bit of a shock for me. That was a massive cultural shock. I came up where in Nigeria, if I did something wrong and the teacher disciplines me, the teacher will tell my parents would discipline me, my parents would tell someone else, they'll discipline me. So coming here and then finding out that you can tell teachers to shut up, for instance, was goddamn, that was like, what the hell?
Now, my son's a millennial. He's 30 now.
Yes.
But I did go down to school when I heard he was rude to the teacher and gave him a slap. And they threatened to call
there you go.
child services, childless services, or whatever.
And you're even trying to help them. I'm trying to discipline them.
No, but I said to them, they said they had to. And I said, okay. But you can't tell me when he's telling you whatever he did at the time, I can't remember, that you don't want to give him a slap.
What do you want me to do?
Yeah?
You know what I mean?
And then he went, okay. I said, and I'd rather give him a slap now in love than a policeman breaks a truncheon over his head when he's a little bit older.
But then again, the thing is, you said that with very obviously good intent, but then you will still have some teachers who might still want to call the child support. And then once child support gets involved, there's a lot more. Yeah, you can say you did it for love, but they're not going to see it that way.
Yeah, well, you tell them, you just deal with that. You deal with that bridge when you come to it in that respect.
But yeah, so for Nigeria did give me a lot of my traits and my hardworking traits, my character. I got all of those from Nigeria, and I'm very grateful. Like, if I would. Obviously, the economy and the country is not the best for me to be raising a family now. But if I was in a position to, and I had kids, I would send them there for at least primary school. Because in primary school, cool, you come here, you have better education in secondary school going forward, but in primary school you get the discipline, you get that mentality beat into you, not literally beat into you, but you get that mentality engraved in you, that when you come here you learn you're a very different person.
Did children get hit in school, slapped in school, whatever, in Nigeria?
I had a teacher who had, I can't remember the number, we had different sets of canes. He had a fat one. He had a skinny thin one. Yeah. He had a leather one. Yeah. There was one where he would hit you and it would wrap around your hand.
Next thing you're gonna tell, they had the whip they used for Jesus.
They weren't that bad. They weren't that bad. What he would do, he would let you choose what he would beat you with.
Oh, that's like in Jamaica when they say go and cut a branch. Go cut branch from the tree there, and you have to cut a branch.
With your hands?
No, you get a knife or whatever or break it, but the point is you can't get a branch too little. You're being double.
Oh,
you don't want to get a branch that's too big. But either way, you're gonna get This is psychologically, and don't take time. Don't keep you waiting.
Because then you get even double worse. Another thing was like when you're late, they will have us pick the weeds from the front yard of the school with your bare hands, and it's hot. So you don't want to be late. You know what I mean? Like you want to make sure you get to school on time.
The funny thing is, I one of the first girls I started to see was a Nigerian, and her hands were rough. And I said, why are your hands rough? She said, yeah, because we used to cut the grass. And you used to get your scissors and hold the grass and cut it like that. So when you talk about pulling it,
scissors, I had to pull the weed to it. I was never the person. That's how they used to pulling out weed with their hands. So,
imagine that. So all you kids in England.
First thing in the morning, you know, and then after that, once the assembly is done, you still have to go to your classes. Now you're starting to go to your class, you're sweaty, you're already irritated. If you now say anything in your class, your teacher will still beat you. Nah, it was a character. Like,
you're happy you went there though.
Obviously, at the time, I wasn't as happy. But as I've gone older and I've started to realise what I learned, very happy.
Now, you did your degree here, civil engineering.
Mm-hmm.
You never thought about going back to Nigeria and working in Nigeria in civils?
And unfortunately, the way it is now, it's one of those where you have to know someone.
Okay.
So I can potentially, there is a lot, I know there is an economy for me, for like bringing bespoke, like for instance, if I say whatever I'm importing to Nigeria to build is from the UK, that will be good business. Because automatically they'll assume better quality, better standards, and all of this. I'm not denying that. However, the economy one is not one where it encourages development in Nigeria. Not a lot of money is being spent in the country. So if I was to go there to start a business, I don't know how that would go. Maybe if I was in a different financial situation at the moment where I've got a bit more capital to play around with, then that might be something I could consider. Because I would like to, I still have that knowledge, and my main goal is to eventually start my own business in something. Because like I said, I'm very bad with taking orders. So my main motivation has always been whatever I'm doing, I want to learn as much as I can, as deeply as I can, to use that knowledge to build up my own business.
Have you ever heard the saying, before one can lead, they must learn to follow?
That's what I was, literally that. Which is what I was saying with my dad. That's one thing my dad always tried to say was like, for you to be a leader, you need to follow first. And I'm still doing that at the moment. It's just I'm doing it because one thing is different following for something you don't enjoy, you become resentful for it. But when you're following and you're like, I'm learning and I'm enjoying this, it's actually something, and you have someone that you're good to work under, then and I feel that's what I have now. Like my current ops manager, he's really, really good. He's invested heavily in me. He's really trying to make me progress, and I'm enjoying it a lot. So.
When you consider, you say you're not good at being told, but you must be. Because everything you've learned from somebody.
I still do it. I'm not trying to say, so it's like, for instance, you can tell me, don't cross that road. Now, my mindset will be like, why? I always ask why. That's my main thing. So as long as there's a justification, so if like, right now, the understanding I have, anytime he tells me to do something, I even know because of the experience we've had together, I know there's a reasoning behind it. So I might not understand the reason at the time, but because I've worked with him enough time, I know he always has a reason for something. I'm like, you know what? I trust you. But before, when I'm working with some people, not a lot of people deserve the positions they're in. So you're working with some people and you're like, what knowledge did you get this? What? This sounds so stupid. What? I'm not doing that. You're making me do double the workload. For what reason? It's little things like those that get on my nerves if I don't understand the order. So if I understand the order and you're breaking it down to me properly, then fine. I'm all good for that. And that's just my thing. So I'm good with following, but there has to be logic for me to understand behind that.
Okay, I'm with you. What have you learnt from your experience so far in life that you wish you knew when you started?
Savings are a good thing. Do not blow your savings. Do not blow your 20.
Yeah, the man says savings are a good thing.
100%. Because I used to think I'll always make money. It's fine. So go out on the weekend, spend whatever money I had left. My first job, I blew my checks. No. In hindsight, if I started from early where my mindset is now, my life would be very different.
You speak of your parents very highly. I take it you're quite close with them.
I love my parents.
Are they still together?
They're still together.
That's nice. That's nice.
I'm trying to be.
Okay, we're going down that road.
They've been together for what? 31, 32 years.
Well, they're doing good. You got lots of siblings?
I've got 2 brothers, 1 sister.
Okay, that's nice. That's a good sized family. I've got four children.
4 kids, yeah.
Yeah.
Good. I feel like 3-4 kids are a good balance in regards to kids.
I always say it's good to have 4 kids because if there's a crackhead in one, you can hide that behind the rest.
Yeah.
You can hide him, but say, hey, they say, how's John? Oh, don't take my ass. Look at Steve.
Like, so for instance, I'm the black sheep in my family. I'm the one where my parents go to my brother. You see what he's done. Don't do that. And that's fair. That's fine. My sister on the other one.
Your dad says that as well.
My mom.
Yeah,
So,
but I can understand your mum being Nigerian.
Well, no, that's fair because I've made nearly every mistake a young youth shouldn't be making.
But does your dad, or do you turn around to your mum and say, yeah, but I'm you?
No.
You don't?
No. Because it would be better. Why are you being me? Why are you taking the bad side of me?
Okay.
Why not taking the good side of me now? So I've never
then you're
I'll
gonna say
take accountability for my
what
actions.
to be like dad? I should be like dad. That really infuriate her.
I had that talk as well with when I was 25. You're becoming too much like your dad. You're taking too much of his bad habits. So I'm like, God damn, thanks for that. Okay, cool.
Okay.
Keep note of that. But no. Appreciative, but very, very appreciative of both of them. They've both influenced my life in different ways.
That's good. What rating are you today?
What rating?
Yeah, out of 10, what rating are you? How do you feel?
I woke up today, so I tend to do, every morning I wake up, I try to speak 3 good things about what I like about myself today, or 3 good things about my day, just to keep myself on a positive mindset. So I started today on a good 8.5 out of 10. I've been traveling this whole morning so far. I've gone on Central Line twice. That's why I told my boss, I was like, I'm booking an Uber, I'm not doing that. So right now,
you was carrying that stuff on the Central Line?
Yeah, it was. He told me it was like, it's not. I was like, dude,
no,
felt it.
No, I'm not doing that.
I'm not doing that.
Forget that.
I'm booking
now
an
you see
Uber.
why I'm driving a taxi.
Once I do that, I am transferring the cost over to you, okay? So right now I'm tired. I'm hot. I'm bothered, but I'm a good 8. I'm a good 8 now.
Okay.
I'm hungry, so that's what slowed me down a little bit. I'm tired. I started at 5 this morning, but I'm all good.
What will it take you to be a 10 today?
Some food. I'm a very easy person, man. That's it. That's some food right now. Maybe a bit of a nap. If I have time for a nap, that would be good.
Well, the food we can do.
Yeah. Nap at the end of the
nap
day,
is
no rest for the wicked,
I always say a nap is something that is a reward.
There you go.
Yeah.
No rest for the wicked. So.
Yeah, in that respect. Okay, that's. Were you into sports when you were younger?
Yeah, massively.
What sports?
I used to run.
Okay.
I used to run loads. Did 100-meter dashes.
The quickest time?
My quickest was 11. This is when I was 15. No, sorry. My quickest time was 12:02.
Okay. And,
yeah, 12 seconds. Yeah.
And what other sports were you into?
Football, basketball, and
no combat sports?
No, not as much. When I was younger, I did taekwondo, but obviously I was a kid.
Africa loves taekwondo.
Yeah,
I used to live in Kenya, and they love taekwondo.
The moment I'm seeing taekwondo, I'm seeing Nigeria doing taekwondo in the Olympics. I was like, God damn, is that really what they really did?
And they do it on a concrete floor as well.
Yeah, you fall, you're gonna feel it. You fall, you're
playing around, man.
But yeah, no, so there wasn't much. I do want to pick up, right now I want to pick up BJJ, so Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu, just to be more active. Even though mixed martial arts, just something just so I can keep myself up and going. But
also, that's a good sport because it's keeps your limb
I want to kind of
flexible.
Exactly.
And you have to think about what you're doing as well under pressure.
So I kind of want to improve on especially my flex, because I've been doing a lot of research into getting older. I realized once you turn 30, basically your metabolism stops, your muscles start to deteriorate. The moment you're 30, that's when, so from 30 to 40 is like your make or break time. But if you don't do anything in your 30s, when you get to your 40, everything will set. If you don't look after yourself physically, mentally, that's kind of like your status quo going forward. So for me, I'm trying to kind of up my health improvements.
Where did you study that? Where did you find out that information?
Books. So there's a book I was reading. I can't remember the name of the book. But generally books. I tend to read books on my way to work, on trains and such. Books and also word of mouth. I don't know how the metabolism stopping at the age of 30, that is factual. I don't know how much of your muscle mass you do lose, but that is factual as well. But I don't know exactly how much muscle mass from the age of 30 as you go on. If you're not doing anything physically active, you start to lose. Especially with joints. So one thing, the other thing as well, the people that tend to live as old as possible, they tend to be quite active. Both, like you see, like farmers in China, for instance, or different part of the world. They're 80 and they're still working hard.
That's because they're not eating crap. That's what it is.
There is that too. Yeah, no, I was gonna go. It also does due to what you put in.
There's no
system as
genetically modified food on a farm
Massively
if
what you put in your
it's
body as
outside
well.
of Europe.
Massively,
or
what you put in your body is a good start as well. I used to eat junk when I was 20. Now I'm like, God damn, I actually, because it's affected more than I thought it would. Just eating food, it affects my mood, it affects my mentality, it affects me the next day, for instance. I can eat something fatty the day before and then I wake up the next day feeling like shit. Sorry for my language, but yeah. So all these little things, just kind of improving myself, both on a physical, mental, and spiritual level.
Okay, that's good. If you could go back in time, what would you say to your 16-year-old self?
Do what you want to do in life. Don't do what other people tell you to do.
Is that a message to your mum?
No, not my mum on that one. It was on that one. My mum never forced me to do that.
Okay, that's good.
She encouraged me because I was good with maths. There was certain subjects I was good with, and obviously, logically speaking, as a parent, I never knew what I wanted to do. So it was like, okay, cool, I do this. Dad has done this, so it's a bit of. So it wasn't like forced onto me. It was just encouraged.
I understand.
But if I had chosen to do what I wanted to do, myself would be possibly very different. So yeah, do what you want to do because it's your life and you're young enough where you can do that. If you don't like it, you can rectify it. Until you get to a certain point where, like, even my age now, I can't. It's not that to a point where I can't start something new, but it's harder and it's scarier than when I'm younger with less responsibilities. Now I've got a certain amount of responsibilities in my head where I do need to consider certain things. So I can't just start off a job like that and quit my job currently if I wanted to, because again, life. So yeah, definitely do what you want to do. Be smart about it. Obviously, don't just say, "Cool, I want to do this." But what's the logic behind it? But yeah, and also try and find out more about yourself. So I never really looked into myself saying, "What do I want to be as in the future?" I never saw that far ahead. I would recommend more young adults to sit down with someone who knows what they're talking about as a teacher or career advisor, and just see, because that will help. That definitely dictates the rest of your life.
So what you're saying there is learn to follow.
Yes, there you go.
On that note, we finished. Thank you for that. To hear more interviews, follow Taxi Chronicles on YouTube, Spotify and Apple Podcasts, where you hear real riders share real stories about their lives.